Hello and welcome Business Central Insights users. Today we're going to broach the subject of what do multi-entity management, or in short MEM, customers actually require. In a MEM environment, reporting is fundamentally different. Entities are not separate databases, they are structured dimensionally, typically as Global Dimension 1, inside a single Business Central company. That architecture is powerful, but it changes the rules for reporting. Because an entity is no longer just an organizational structure, it becomes a core analytical dimension in your reporting model. And while MEM structures entities dimensionally within a single company, the enterprise reality extends far beyond that boundary, spanning multiple Business Central companies, regional environments, countries, currencies, and languages. The reporting layer must consolidate this complexity into a single governed model. Business Central Insights delivers true multi-dimensional intelligence. We have cross-company and cross-environment consolidation, currency-aware financial reporting, and global multi-language accessibility, all within one consolidated, governed PowerBI model across your entire Business Central landscape. Whether your structure is dimensional, company-based, environment-based, or hybrid, the reporting architecture must remain consistent, and in MEM specifically, that architecture must satisfy 4 non-negotiable requirements: true multi-dimensional analysis, strict entity-level security, extendability as MEM evolves, and configurable multi-entity financial reporting. If even one of these is missing, reporting becomes fragmented, manual, or risky. Business Central Insights is designed around all 4. Let's walk through them with Foundation 1, multi-dimensional reporting. This is key as entities must behave like a dimension. In MEM, entity is dimension 1. That means it must behave like every other analytical structure. It should be filterable, groupable, usable in hierarchies, compatible with totals, and combinable with any other dimension. Because organizations do not analyze by entity alone. They analyze by entity plus business unit, entity plus cost center, entity and region, salesperson, item group, or project. And in international organizations, they analyze metrics in local currency, reporting currency, or consolidation currency. The requirement is simple. Any metric must be analyzable by any combination of dimensions, hierarchies, totals, and currency contexts. Business Central Insights supports all dimensions straight out of the box. You can analyze up to 12 financial dimensions simultaneously, allowing you to move far beyond basic 2-dimension reporting. Multidimensional filtering lets you slice your data in any combination required, while multi-level dimension hierarchies allow you to roll up from detailed operational views to consolidated executive summaries. You can create custom dimension totals to reflect how your business is structured, not just how the data is stored. Default dimensions are fully respected and ensuring consistently with your Business Central setup. And critically, aggregation remains accurate across every combination of dimensions, hierarchies, and filters, so totals always reconcile correctly. Hierarchies and totals enable MEM roll-ups, as MEM organizations often require multiple levels, for example, holding group to region to country to legal entity, or consolidation groups, or management-defined clusters. Business Central supports this through dimension hierarchies, custom totals, and user-defined fields via table extensions. BCI fully respects these configurations inside PowerBI. That means you can view individual entities, roll up to consolidation groups, drill down to transaction level, and compare structures consistently. This is true dimensional intelligence, not hard-coded entity reports. Our cube reports make multi-dimensional analysis usable. Cube reports allow users to select measures dynamically, choose any dimension as rows or columns, build multi-level hierarchies, drill down interactively, and save personal analysis views and bookmarks. Because the solution is available in multi-languages, global teams can explore cross-entity performance in their preferred language, improving adoption and consistency across regions. For MEM customers, this means finance and operation teams can explore cross-entity performance dynamically without report redesign. So let's see how this looks in our reports. Let's start with the item sales cube. Our cube reports are available through all our apps and are a highly configurable report, perfect for in-depth ad hoc analysis. I might want to quickly see my sales by entity and business unit. I click sales in the measures, entity in the row, and business unit in the column, and then just like that, I have the report I need with multiple dimensions. If you have multiple entity levels, then you could start with the holding groups, in this case, entity level 1, and then hold Control and Command and add the entity level. Then with the expand down one level arrows, here you can view this as so. Maybe I want to see that by fiscal quarter and see the business units within those entities. So I simply click fiscal quarter and then add business unit as another layer of hierarchy with Control or Command to give an even more in-depth view of sales. But it doesn't have to stop there. I can then add the salesperson, their customers, and lastly the item sold, and create an even more granular multi-level hierarchy view. And then to show more metrics, add some measures on the left here as additional columns such as cost of goods sold, item profit, and profit percentage. As you can in all our reports, you can then bookmark them up here or share the view via link or email or in a Teams call. Another example of multi-entity reporting I can show here in our on-time delivery report. I can again select the multi-level entity options to structure by holding group, and then I can add sell to customer to see which customers in each entity are receiving the orders on time, and it's nicely color coded for an easy visual cue. Or you could even track which shipping agent is causing problems within each entity by removing customer and swapping that level of hierarchy to shipping agent, just like that. Lastly, some financial reporting examples, and to do so I'll use the income statement cube. And rather than focusing on revenue, I'll delve into expenses this time. So I click the expenses account category here, and let's just view the net change rather than the budget measures we've got. Again, let's analyze by those entity levels and then by quarter with a few clicks. Then we can add cost center as a second dimension, and as an additional level we can add the GL accounts and see the GL data. You can even right click on, let's say, the wages figure in July and drill into the individual income statement general ledger entries, just like this. So that's a quick overview of what's possible in a couple of our reports based on Foundation 1. Let's move on to Foundation 2, Entity Level Security. In MEM, multiple legal entities coexist in one dataset. Security is not optional. Without strict access control, financial data may cross legal boundaries, confidential information may be exposed, and governance risks increase. Business Central Insights implements row-level security based on dimensions, including entity. This ensures a CFO sees consolidated data, a regional manager sees assigned entities, and a local finance or sales team see only their legal entity, all from a single governed data set. Row-level security is configured within the PowerBI Insights connector, defining users, roles, and permissions by company or entity, and enforced in the PowerBI service. Important governance principles are that users must be a viewer in workspaces for row-level security enforcement. Security applies at transactional level, and one dataset securely serves the entire organization. This eliminates duplicated reports and fragmented datasets. Security is embedded in the model, not managed manually. How do we achieve this within our apps? Firstly, we open the PowerBI Insights connector, and then we have the option here for row-level security. We then open the PowerBI user. You'll have all your users on the left here, and then in an easy-to-use drop-down menu, you can assign different roles for different apps. So for example, Tony has been assigned Dimension 1 for the Sales Insight app. So now if we go into Dimension 1 via the Permissions tab, you can assign permissions specific entities such as these two regions, USA and Canada. Once that's done in the connector, you'll need to go to the PowerBI workspace. Firstly, we click the three-dot menu beside the semantic model, and then security in the drop-down. Then you add Tony as a member within Dimension 1, just by typing it in here. And now when he logs in, he will only see those two entities he was assigned. And then also, as you can see on the left here, you've got different permutations, whether it be Dimension 1 and 2, or just Dimension 1, or General Ledger Account. So now let's move on to Foundation 3, Extendability. MEM environments evolve. New entities are added, new classifications are introduced, and new reporting attributes become necessary. If every structural change requires redevelopment, reporting becomes fragile, slow, and expensive. So the third requirement is extendability without redevelopment. Business Central Insights supports REST APIs and composite models for structural extensions. PowerBI table extensions as well for adding fields without development. Most importantly for MEM, custom fields on the entity setup table can be exposed directly through Dimension Table Extension Setup. This allows MEM customers to report on entity attributes, filter by consolidation classification, group by regulatory type, and analyze by any MEM-specific and user-defined field. Extension fields are available across all companies. Only necessary fields are added, keeping performance strong. The reporting model evolves with MEM, without fragmentation or duplication. How is this achieved? We do that in the Dimension section of Business Central. Here you can see the entity dimension in the list here. And if we go into the Dimension menu and then onto Dimension Values, you will see all your defined entity structures, just like that. Now, for each entity, you will have a MEM entity setup. And in here, you'll have a user-defined field section, in this case as region. And you can assign each entity to its specific region, such as North America. And this will be added to our app, and the reports will reflect that. The next step is to go into the PowerBI Insights connector and table extensions, followed by Dimension Table Extension Setup. We have some already set up here, but now we can add region to finance as a user-defined field for our apps. You simply choose the field from the list by clicking the three-dot menu and then scroll down and choose the user-defined field 1, which we know is region. And then I can rename that in the field name for clarity. So how does this look in practice? Let's see in the inventory valuation report, which by default is shown by item, category, and item. But if I scroll down the rows here with a click of a button, I have the inventory valuation for the regions that have been defined. I can then add the second layer of the specific entity by holding Control or Command. And then when I expand down, you get each region and the inventory valuation for all the entities within them. These user-defined fields can be found throughout financial reporting, sales, manufacturing, and all of our reporting apps for in-depth multi-entity reporting. It's also important to note that we support adding custom fields from any standard table in Business Central in the table extension setup as well, just by simply adding them from the drop-down menus as well as we did previously. So we've now extended our reporting with user-defined fields. Let's move on to Foundation 4. Configurable multi-entity financial reporting. This is where many solutions fail. Dashboards are easy, but MEM customers require truly configurable multi-entity financial reporting, immediately available, secure, and financially credible. Business Central Insights integrates financial reporting row definitions directly into PowerBI. This means income statements, balance sheets, cash flow statements, and cash flow forecasts are imported into the semantic model and become fully interactive. You can analyze income statement by entity, view consolidated balance sheets, compare entities by side by side, filter by up to 12 dimensions, apply dimension filters defined in Business Central, and drill down into ledger entries. For international MEM organizations, there is a critical additional layer, multi-currency integrity. Entities often operate in different functional currencies. Management may report in a consolidation currency. Statutory reporting may require local currency views. Business Central Insights ensures financial statements reconcile correctly across currencies, applying appropriate exchange rate logic while maintaining consolidated visibility, full drill down transparency to the original transaction. Currency conversion respects entity level security, dimension filters, and financial row definitions. Totals remain accurate, comparable, and governed. Additional analytical dimensions from PowerBI can be applied beyond the two global dimensions defined in Business Central, and critically, security still applies. If a user only has access to certain entities, financial statements automatically respect those permissions, regardless of currency context. This delivers configurable statements using familiar row definitions, immediate availability in PowerBI after refresh, secure visibility by entity, multi-currency credibility, and drill-down transparency. This bridges statutory, financial reporting, and management analytics in one governed model. Let's quickly take a look. Firstly, in the financial reporting module of Business Central, you have all your reports created for the various financial purposes, and then all these reports are translated across with the same structures into our PowerBI reports. Firstly, you select financial reports by dimension from the menu. Along the top, you will have all your dimensions, and you can then choose any of your BC reports from this drop down on the left, whether that be balance sheet or cash flow statement. But let's stick with the income statement. Now I click the entity level 1, the report will display those holding companies, and then I'll add the entity level for that extra layer, and then change the drop down over here and expanding down one level for the columns, and I can then view those entities within those holding companies. And when I scroll across, you can see the total at the end, or you could easily view the regional income statements or by business unit or any of your dimensions, all at the click of a button. So just to recap, for MEM customers, successful reporting requires 4 pillars. Multi-dimensional reporting to analyze any metric by any combination of dimensions, hierarchies, totals, and currencies. Entity level security to ensure users see only authorized entities through embedded row level security. Extendability to adapt the reporting architecture as MEM evolves without redevelopment. And configurable multi-entity financial reporting for interactive, secure financial statements that reconcile across entities and currencies. Business Central Insights is architected around these 4 foundations. The result is consolidated visibility, strong governance, reduced manual effort, secure scalability, financial credibility, global usability, and future-proof analytics. Because MEM environments reporting is not just operational, it is strategic infrastructure. And that is exactly why Business Central Insights is architected the way it is. Built for consolidation, designed for scale, trusted for financial integrity. If you're running a MEM in Business Central, your reporting architecture should be built on these same principles. Thank you for joining us. I hope this was helpful. Have a lovely day.